Are you
Man,
here?
I thought I was going to fall asleep. I like wearing these so I can hear.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll be like, whisper. I can hear you talking. Or I can hear if my mic's off, which I don't know if mine is. I can't hear it.
Can you hear?
What happened?
Uh-oh.
I didn't see it down here. Nope. I guess I'm going to go without it. Who cares? All right. We should be live.
We are live.
We are live.
We
We're
are.
live.
We are live. Are you?
Look at me trying to get it on YouTube. Sorry. Okay,
okay.
we're live. Ready?
Just to make sure everybody can hear me.
Yep.
Just because. So, and off over here on our left
Oh,
side, you'll see the comments. Yes.
Okay, there they
So,
are.
yeah, we can do all that. So I'm just going to kind of wait and see if we can get some people to chime in because, like I said, I can't hear myself
Yep.
with my headphones.
Wow.
So,
You know.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what I did. I don't know what's wrong with me.
There's Yvonne.
Yay.
Marco.
Colleen and Jack in the house.
From Trojan
That's
Land.
what I thought.
Right. No, so this is episode 4 for me, right?
Okay.
I started this whole thing off because I wanted to hear moms' visions or what happens with moms because it's always like every time I sit and I go to the shows or do things, it's with a coach, it's with a dad. You know, you always hear those stories. Like when I'm in the bleacher, I mean, I can hear dads talk to me for hours. It's like, yeah, you know, this. I remember this. This is like, oh, this is like great, whatever. But you don't really get to hear the mom side of the stories, which often is, tend to be like the serious side of the story because they do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was fun. I'll be like, yo, you know what, we got to do it. I can hear you loud and clear. All right, thanks, Mr. Rodney Cox.
Mr. Rodney
And
Cox.
we'll probably talk about him later on throughout the show too. And Mr. Man Jack in the house, calling
Yes,
him
sir.
obviously. Micah Mountain.
Yes, sir.
So you are one of the original 4 years through. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I've
Okay.
been at Micah since my freshman year, and I will be the first graduating class of
All the
Micah
way
Mountain.
through.
All the way through.
Yeah.
You guys excited?
Yes, very much.
You excited for this senior year of football?
Mm-hmm. I hope it's fun. Hope we go far. Hope maybe make playoffs, make state, do all that fun stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. Like,
Yeah.
and to have the region set up the way they are right now.
Yes.
Very competitive.
It's
this
gonna be
year.
interesting.
Very competitive. Yeah.
Interesting. So we'll
And
see.
I learned all that from you.
You're so welcome.
I learned all that from you. I knew nothing. And then I was like, okay, Chris, I'm going to deep dive onto your little Facebook page, website here, and figure out how this all works. Because as a mom, I didn't know anything. I didn't understand regions. I didn't understand any of that.
And I was kind of clueless myself as a doing it as a single dad. I wasn't a football guy. I tell people all the time I never played. You know, it was just I just got kind of like sucked into it. I was a DJ forever and a day, and so all of a sudden I was like, well, how do I help my kid? And because I did marketing for record labels and all kinds of like promotional kind of stuff, like for the nightclubs and stuff like that, I was like, I can promote. I don't know nothing about X's and O's, and even to this point, like I can tell you about like maybe a 3-4-3 or something like stuff like that, like what position or like if you're in a cover 2, cover 3, whatever the case is. But yeah, but after that, like it took me a long time to get positions down, like especially like the lines and stuff. Like I'm like, it just took me a long time, and I'm honest about it. You know, I'm not. I mean, the fact that I try to be like I'm vulnerable to it, and I like showing that because that's honestly what I think kind of helps everybody kind of identify with it. It's like, I'm learning too. So let's learn together kind of thing. So, which brings us up to you because you actually do a lot for not only one school, but 2 schools.
Yep.
So
Yes, I do.
and so I was really excited to kind of get you on here because not only are you a very recognizable person on my page because you do ask questions or you're honest with me on certain things and you'll tell me when I'm like, hey,
Hey, wait
you
a
might
second.
want to fix that, you know, or
Hey, wait
stuff
a
like that,
second.
which is fine by me. I don't have a problem with that. For me to be, you know, that kind of person is what I have to be. So give us a little bit about what you do.
Well, first and foremost, I am Jack's mom. And that to me is one of the biggest and most important roles in my life.
Hardest ones, too.
Hardest, yes. I do have a beautiful daughter as well, Amelia, who is just finished her first year at NAU and loved it. And we can't speak enough about NAU and the amazing college that it is. But so that's first and foremost. I'm also a wife to my wonderful husband, Prince. But
You married a prince.
I did marry a prince, and yes, that is his actual name.
Yes.
But the other job that I have, and that's my job, is I'm employed through TUSD. I am what is called an MTSS facilitator, and that's, education loves acronyms, but it's a multi-tier system of support facilitator. And I work at Saguaro High School. And I help kids who are struggling academically, behaviorally, attendance, all of those things. And just for all of your listeners, every TUSD high school has one of me.
Right.
Has this position.
Does Micah Mountain have one?
Micah Mountain does not, but they have different type of position similar to it. It's named something different, but every school has staff that are there to help.
Keep the kids in line.
Keep kids in line, keep kids. And that is one thing that I wanted to come on here and tell all
I
your
want to hear it.
listeners.
I want to hear
is
that angle.
When your kid goes to high school, whatever the size school it is, find someone on that campus that you can connect with.
Right.
Start with their counselors. If you're not getting great response from their counselors, find someone like me in MTSS. Maybe it's a teacher. Your coaches are kind of concerned about coaching. They are concerned about academics too, but their job is to coach.
Right.
Find someone on your campus and start your freshman year. Don't build that relationship your senior year. Build that relationship your freshman year, because that person is your go-to person on campus.
Absolutely.
It's your go-to person of, he's taking American history. Should he be taking American history this year? He's, he's really struggling with Mr. Jones in his Algebra 2 class. Do you have any advice with me with that? Right. Just someone on campus that you can go to, you feel confident enough. There are staff who would love to be that person for you on campus. I am that person for a lot of student athletes.
Right.
It's not part of my job, but it is my passion because of Jack. I am very passionate about Jack in his sports, and it kind of spills out into Saguaro athletes. And so I'm constantly checking on them, making sure that they're eligible, making sure that they're getting their work in and getting done to be eligible. I think back to COVID days, and we had the neighborhood. I was home.
Oh, yes.
Right.
I was doing my job remotely from home, and it just started to trickle. It was Jack's freshman year at Micah.
Yeah.
We were thinking we might play maybe a game or two.
Yeah.
We played 2, right? So we were just there. We weren't sure. But I was home, and boys started to realize I was home. And then slowly but surely, boys started to show up at my house. And I was like, they're like, can we do our work here, Mrs. Bradley? And I was like, yes, come on in. And so then we started setting up tables, just the outdoor tables.
Right.
And
Bingo
power
tables.
strips, right? And my daughter was really helpful too. She was a senior at the time, or a junior at the time.
Over at Cienega.
At Cienega. Yeah. And so I just had him plug in, and I was like, are you on class? Like, get on class. Let's go. I'll talk to you when you're done with that class. What do you have next? Some were napping during their break times. Like, we were feeding pancakes. But it was my goal is, like, these kids aren't going to fall behind.
Right.
Because we have COVID. That's not going to happen. Right. We're going to do this. And, I even helped a kid in the neighborhood who was not going to Micah. He was going to another school, but I got him up on his grades so he could actually.
Just became an outreach center.
Exactly. Yep. So, school is so important for our athletes that I keep telling parents all the time. They are student athletes.
Right.
Student first, athlete second.
And to plant the seeds as soon as you walk in. Like, honestly, we need to be planting it well before.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to plant it before they come in, because what I see happen a lot with athletes is by the time you get your junior year, that's when you start being kind of
Yes.
like, hey, so what do I need to play?
To play.
You know, and you're already 2 years behind, which at that point in time now,
grade is
like people don't
falling.
understand that the GPA, which is funny that I
What
just
you just posted,
posted,
I was
right,
like,
right.
oh, thank God you posted that today.
Right. Yep.
Because that's all I'm going to talk about.
you know, and it's funny because like I was just talking to Coach Rogers over at South Point, and like I asked one of his athletes, I said, "Do you know what GPA stands for?" And I said,
Point average.
"Yeah, it stands for grade point average, but I say it says getting paid academically." Okay, because whenever you go off to college, the higher your GPA is, the more money you're going to make. So when kids start to realize that you get paid, like we had a Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Yes, just the last like a couple shows ago, or actually the last one.
Yes.
So and he's telling me about like he's got a tuition almost like $60,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
And his GPA pretty much pays it all. So when you sit there and think about it, if you do really well in school, I mean, I'm actually telling you, Jack, and obviously you know because your mom.
Yeah.
But if you do really well in school, you'll make per year to pay off your schooling more than I've probably ever made in my life per year, which is pretty sad. And all you have to do is the simple things
Just
like
do school.
do your homework.
Yep.
Like turn it in. Like half the time these kids are like at a disadvantage because they don't even want to turn it in. I know you can enlighten us on that one, huh?
So what happens
not
when
him.
you don't turn
Not
it
him.
in?
I know you could.
What happens when you don't turn it
Yeah, right when the grade goes in, I will get a text straight after it goes in, asking me why I didn't do it, where is it, why I didn't turn it in, or
So
can
has
I
this
get
happened?
it?
So I mean, you got the ruler
Yes.
here. And
Right after the grade gets put in, she texts me why the grade was put in.
So have you ever came up with a good excuse?
No, never. It's
His
always
sister had better excuses.
Yes.
I would
Right?
say.
It's like I'm not even gonna come up. I'm not gonna
no.
even try.
I just tell her I either forgot to do it, didn't do it, or I will do it. Basically,
Most of the time it ends with "I'll do it"
yes.
Right.
I usually do it right after,
right
or
after mom tells you.
yes, or I go up to the teacher and ask.
Now, can you imagine not having the constructive home that you have?
No, if I didn't have what my mom does for me now, I don't know where I would be at in school and stuff like that, because she really gets on me on my grades, and she really doesn't want my grades to slip. She really wants me to get all A's, and I try my best, and she's the reason why I try my best, because I want to go to college, I want to do all that, and she gets on me so I can go to college.
So when you go off to college, you know your mom's not gonna know.
Yes.
So how are you gonna keep that mentality? Keep going.
I'm just act like she's there. Act like she's
Okay.
she can still see my grades.
So
and
I'm
all
gonna ask
that.
right now, what's your GPA?
3.9.
3.9.
Yes, sir.
And you're like, and you know, so let me kind of help people who don't know who you are. You're at Micah Mountain. This
Yes,
is your
sir.
senior year. You're a 2024 kid.
Yes, sir.
You are a wide receiver.
Yes, sir.
Any other play? Do you play defense at all?
No, I do
No?
not.
So the wide receiver, I know Pat does that with your senior
Yes,
year. You
sir.
can normally, like the other years, you have to play one or the other.
Yeah.
Which is never a bad thing to
No,
learn multiple things.
not at all.
But you chose to go down the channel of wanting to play wide receiver.
Yes, sir. I tried to play safety last year. I didn't really play, so I just stuck to one side of the ball this year.
Right. So when it comes down to, hey, look, you're looking for opportunity now to go play in college. Are you isolating that and saying I want just this, or are you open to all kinds of stuff? Or?
I'm really open to anything. Any coach that wants to come and talk to me, I will easily talk back. I will communicate, and I'm really just looking for an opportunity.
And what have you found to be some of the best tools to help him in that whole recruiting process?
It's a job.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to be honest. It is a job and a half. Like, we have support from Amazing Rodney, which we are super appreciative of, but it is a job. It is a full-time commitment between both him and I have to support it too. Like,
Right.
everybody calls me a little helicopter mom. I know that.
You are.
Yes.
I
It's
am.
okay.
Everybody's okay. I'm okay with it. But Rodney shared a spreadsheet with me. I literally have a spreadsheet of all of the communications that we've had with coaches. It is our Bible. It is what we live by.
Right.
He knows if he gets a text, he tells me, we put it in the spreadsheet.
Yep.
It keeps us organized, and it keeps us seeing the trends of who's been communicating with us more,
Right.
who have we not heard from in a while, but we're still very interested in that school. So
Okay.
we need then to reach out to them.
So you're doing a lot on your end of
So
it.
we're doing a lot on our end. And, for Jack, it's not just, he has a 3.9 and he's okay. We talked about this before, but Jack has dyslexia. He has a very strong IEP. My background is in exceptional ed, so I helped really craft that IEP. He gets the grades that he gets because the accommodations are there. So not
Right.
only are we looking for a college, we're looking for a college that has his
Like something like the
degree.
U of A's SALT program.
A
Yes.
SALT program. But they also have the degree that he wants. A lot of colleges.
A lot of
will-
parents don't look for that.
No.
That's the first thing
So
I look
thank
at.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you for bringing that
You have
topic
to go onto
up.
these websites and you have to see, do you even have secondary education math? Because he wants to be a math teacher and a coach.
I do.
Okay.
Right?
So you're trying to get your secondary education degree.
Yes, sir.
So
Perfect. Nice.
we're trying to find a school that has that. Some of these colleges don't have that. So I'm like, I'm sorry, we're not going to
Wow.
switch his train
Very
of
cool.
thought or switch his idea just to play football.
And the fact
Yes.
that you know what you want to do helps immensely.
Yes, it
Like
does.
that's another thing that people don't tend to identify is that they don't get that, hey, look, if your student knows what he wants, now you can start catering the college to what he
Right.
wants to do. They'll just go to a school that offers them to play football. And it's like, the goal isn't to play football. The goal is to get your education.
Yes.
And what happens is they'll sit there and go, like, I just want to play football.
Yeah.
And it's like, next thing you know, you're miserable.
Right. And that's the other thing is, what type of college are you looking
Oh,
for?
yeah.
Right? Is it a big university? If it's a big university, many of the
Oh, I
colleges,
love this conversation.
Many of the colleges that are reaching out to Jack right now are like 2,000 students, 1,700
Yeah.
students.
Right.
Like they're very small universities.
In small communities.
And small communities, like, Hastings, Nebraska. There's,
Right.
it's small town, right? So we're looking at what diverse background do they have? Like, those are all things that when a coach reaches out to Jack, we sit down and look at before we start really going, oh yeah, this is where I want to play. We
Right.
can't get, the bells and whistles and the lights and the camera, we can't get blinded by that
No.
just because a coach reached out to you. That's great that they're reaching out to you, but if it doesn't, it has to match both sides.
Well, and I'm loving thank you so much. You have no clue. Like to sit there and go, okay, look, well, you know what you want to do. You know
Yeah.
this. You know, your situation, and you're looking for a school that caters to that. What will typically happen is I'll get kids that are like, yo, what's the stadium look like? What's
Yeah.
the weight room facilities look like? They're so football bound because that's what they love, and they typically aren't. They're barely getting skating by with their GPAs. I got a 3, and three's
Great.
is actually good.
Yeah.
Good.
So when you we'll talk to especially a lot of people here in Tucson, and this is something that I really would love to change, that culture of a 2.5 or even lower. We really need to push these kids to a 3.0 or better. But you at least are looking at how to make the puzzle fit you as a person. It doesn't necessarily have to be the amazing scoreboard where you come out on the football field and it's Jack's here. It's you don't have to have that, which is y'all, you don't understand how so much relief it is to hear that you're willing to look at options for the schools instead of just what a football program looks like.
Yeah, I'm mostly academics first. I always ask coaches when they come to my school what academic scholarships they have and what academics they really have and if they have my degree or not. And then we go on to talk about more football after that.
Right. That's
And
good stuff.
I think the other thing that's really important that I think parents need to realize is that the GPA, like you talked about, that's what I'm looking at. So we're a working class family. I'm an educator. am not encouraging him to go into education just because I know what it's like.
Trust me,
but,
I got that.
But if he's very good with kids. He really wants to do the coaching aspect. I know that, having a teaching degree helps get into that coaching realm as well too. But I've always said to him, if you go to college and you try teaching and you hate it, move on to something else. Like, go ahead, change. It's not a big deal. Your mom will support that 100%.
I will forgive you.
We'll support that 100%. But the other thing is that I'm looking at these colleges, and one of the second places after I look for if they have his degree is I go to the scholarship page, right? You go to the scholarship page and you look. Right? And right there it says, if you have between this GPA and this GPA, you get this much money. If you have between this, and some you have to add the test scores too.
Right.
Now that's
it's changed with COVID.
It's changing a little bit with COVID, but still some schools require the test scores too. So you have to educate yourself. It's amazing how much money they will give you if you have a 3.75, a 3.8, a 3.9, a 4.0, over a 4.0.
Come to our school.
To our school.
That's
like
what
they will pay for it. That has nothing to do with his ability on the field. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. But he still would be able to go. And
which opens so many options for you to go play football, because what people don't realize is that Division III, NAIA, Division II, they don't offer full rides for athletics. So what most of your tuition is going to be covered by is your academics, which is why I post the whole getting paid academically, is because when you go into a Division III, Division IIIs do not offer any kind of athletic money at all. NAIs will do partials, and then same thing kind of with Division IIs. And people don't get, like, hey, it's going to cost a lot of money. Like, not only that, housing, the food, everything else, because you're away and stuff like that. And depending on what market you're even in. So, like, even if you went to a Division III school in, say, for instance, California, that expense is going to be completely outrageously different than it is if you went to a Kansas. Those kinds of things. So, once again, mom's sitting in there getting detailed. And this is why I'm going to say you're blessed, bro. Seriously. To have somebody like her that looks into some of those details and stuff like that. And thank you for sharing this stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's where we as a Tucson community need to come together.
We need to talk.
Like, we need to talk. Listen, I can help you advocate for your son, right? Like, or your daughter even. Any type of, thing. I have exceptional ed background. I have given advice on what you need to talk about when you go into IEPs and all that kind of stuff. I have academic background, so I can help you in what classes do they need to take? What do you need to make sure did they do their CPR and first aid? Like, they have to take a CPR class to graduate now in the state of Arizona.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
I didn't know it either.
Little things like that I know, but that I'm willing to share. Like, we need to come together as moms, as a mom, like, tribe of Tucson mom athletes, and share our knowledge, share our wealth. I have learned from you. I have learned from so many moms before me. I hope to share that knowledge with so many moms coming in.
Absolutely.
I love to talk to freshman moms. They're bright-eyed, they're ready, they're willing, and that's where you need to start. Like, you can't, like you said, you can't hit it junior year.
Yeah, you can't hit it on junior year. And the other thing is that you're bringing up a lot of things when it comes to searching for your college.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of these parents also need to understand while they're going into their high schools. And that's another reason why I enjoy bringing you here, because, like, what we were talking about even before, just because you're in certain, like, communities, if you want to jump to a different community, does your kid's education from one curriculum adjust over to another? Like, kids, a lot of them will go from, like, for instance, Saguaro neighborhood or something like that, and they'll transfer and they want to go to South Point. And it's like, the curriculum is completely different. Like, Catfoot, they tend to have a higher curriculum. You don't tend to have it that much with, like, university high school, but like that's another one.
Yeah.
Like their curriculums don't necessarily always match. So when you're jumping districts, like you got to kind of understand how that curriculum runs through the programs, if I'm understanding that correctly.
That's correct. Well, and the other thing is you need to make sure if you are making that jump, which everybody has to do what works best for their family and their kid, right? And,
Right.
and if the high school that you're at is not working, which sometimes it doesn't,
Gotcha.
you have to look elsewhere. You have to also look at, okay, this is what my kid has taken, and now they're coming to your school. How is there going to be a smooth transition? You need to sit down with a counselor at
Right.
that school and say, here's what they have, and here's their grades that they have. Now, can we map out the rest of their time with you? And is he going to have to take a summer school class? Because you guys only offer econ to freshmen, right? And he hasn't taken econ, but he's coming in as a junior.
Right.
And econ's only a 1 semester class. And so how do we fit that into his schedule? Should he take that in the summer? Like there's little tricks that I just happen to know because I'm in the
'Cause you're there.
counseling
You're in it.
department. I'm in it all day. But if you don't sit down with somebody and talk about that,
You just
then
moved
you're
your kid.
then you're just going to be, oh, okay, now my kid is a senior and they didn't take econ and it's not offered and I don't know when. Okay, we got to do it online and we got to do it at the same time as we're doing, and it just becomes this huge hassle. So if you are transferring, not only do you have to sit and talk to the coach and the athletic director and all of that stuff of transferring and do you have to sit or what the rules are, and I don't understand any of
The
that.
whole prior contact thing.
I have no idea about that. I don't understand it. It's
Know your
not my
stuff.
realm, but I would go to somebody who did, right? But you also need to sit and talk with the academic people at the school
Right.
and say, are we cool?
Right.
Are we good?
And it's funny because like as a parent myself, I was ignorant to all that. I was. Like my kids would come home and say, this is the classes that I want to take. And I was so like, I went through a separation as my kids were in Rincon, where I actually coached where I coached your sister in track. Were you there in that too? No.
No, he wasn't
No.
there
Okay.
yet.
Oh, okay.
He was still
So
a
yeah, he was
senior
younger,
valley.
but you would come over all the time.
I would.
Yes.
So, but when I was working with her, like, I went through a whole separation thing. And so I went through high school as a single dad with the kids. I actually had the kids. And I was so confused. Like, it was like, okay. Like, I didn't know. I didn't pay attention. Like, I didn't pay attention to school because actually I was a learning disability kid. I had a form of dyslexia, a retention disorder. And so, like, me with my kids in school, I could care less. I was like, okay, make it happen. But yeah, as parents, we don't think of the layers of information
Right.
and details like what you just covered some. And it probably gets a hell of a lot thicker than that.
It does. And it's always changing too. I mean, we have a new state superintendent of education.
Right.
So he could bring in some new rules, right? Or new laws or whatever. And so things are always changing in education.
Right.
Things are always changing for our students. And so we have to keep up on that. But one of the things is I pay a ton of money for him to do speed and agility camps, 7-on-7. If your kid is struggling academically,
You like that post I did, huh?
you have to invest some money in that too, right?
But it's so true.
There's tutoring. I mean, most schools offer free tutoring
Right.
after school, before
Right.
school, whatever. I know his school offers. I know my school offers. There are tutoring opportunities. We have to look at both. We have to do
Right.
a happy medium. If you're investing this much time and effort in your son to be a good athlete, you have to double that down with his academics too.
Because we're just talking about how much money are you going to get for that? That's going to continue to let you play. And like, I hit the subject on my post because I failed as a parent. Maybe not failed. I was just uninformed,
I don't think you failed.
Right. So
Caleb, your children are amazing.
Oh, no,
They are
they're good.
amazing
They're good.
kids. So let's not say that you
I
failed.
I failed on the topic.
Yes, maybe.
And I think we just, it's cool to talk about it and be like, hey, look, let's bring it to the table and talk, because you're right. As a dad, and it's, you got your son, yeah, I got my boy, and we're going to go play football, and I'm going to be at every practice. Heck, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to do all this stuff, daddy ball, whatever the case. I don't care like what you want to call it or whatever the case is. Yet I spent more money, like I posted on there, I spent more money on cleats, mouthpieces, every gloves, all this other stuff. Like I bought my son a $600 helmet, his senior year, which he got to wear like twice. We spent more money on decorative equipment for sports than I bought in school supplies ever. And that's part of the problem. Like, did I help him with this? Could I have done this? Those things that, like, could we have gotten more of that tutor kind of aspect? Could we have done like so much more? And would it have, if we inbred that into our children younger, would they have been as embarrassed if they would have done it at an older age? Like if you take them to a tutor, like at a later years, they're going to be like, why am I doing this? Because it's not a part of their life, their normal like role. So if you're going with like something younger and you're involved as a parent at the younger ages saying, hey, look, like, and the sad part is as parents, especially nowadays, I couldn't follow what you do in school anyways. I couldn't. Like if you were to test me right now, I probably couldn't even hit a middle school education. And I'm not saying, and that's for most of us. Because what do we basically use? Basic math, or we'll use like, other things. But we don't use it. You know what I'm saying? So we lose it, that kind of thing. So my son would ask me a question, and he'd look at me like, wow, I don't even know why the hell I asked you the question, because you have no clue on this. Now, I could be a cheerleader and be like, yo, I could tell you, like, I love history. I think that's cool because, like, you learn so much about, it can be an interesting subject. You're into math, which is really cool because there's so many endless things that you can do with math. I mean, my sisters were both math and science. Like, that was their big two things because they figured they ain't going to cut us. No. Like, history teachers, you're the first one to go.
There's no state test for history.
Yeah, have a nice day. And they all got their nationals. So get that too. I mean, obviously. But I do want to jump on and ask you questions too. Because I know mom is full of information. But I want to know like some of the things like when having her as your mom. And I know you already touched base that she kept you in line, stuff like that. Out on the football field, is she ever a little too much though?
There might be one or two times where I'll be playing football like at the Black and Blue game or showcase at Micah. I was there. I was on the field. All of our players are on the field, and I'm having fun and everything. And I just turn around and she's on the field with me, talking to Nugent, talking to all the coaches, and I'm just confused. I'm just confused with how she got on the field, why she's on the field, and what are you doing?
All up in the sauce. Yeah. She's like, she wants to know what's going on.
I was getting the keys to make you guys hot dogs.
I didn't know that.
So you do concessions and help out there, and
well, here's the thing: we took a risk going to Micah because we didn't know. Nobody knew.
It was the first year. Yeah.
It was the first year. Nobody knew. Nugent wasn't announced that he was going to be the coach. Right? We had Darling the first year. We love Darling. He's amazing. But we didn't know, so we took a risk.
I knew.
Well, yeah, okay. Top secret, everybody knew. But so we went, and then second year, Nugent comes, and you could see that it was new, and there was stuff that we were just trying to piece together. And so I reached out to him, and I said, hey, what help do you need?
Right.
Because he doesn't really have Booster Club, but he does usually have a very strong parent group that helps. Well, that hadn't been established, right? And so I said, what do you need? And he's like, are you sure? And I said, I'm sure. And so then he and I have kind of partnered together to rally all the troops. And so it goes through me, and then it goes to all the parents. Right. And so in that case, yes, we do. What's nice at Micah, though, is that we don't have to do the concession stand every game because it's a sports complex. So you pay to get into the sports complex. So if there's a volleyball game and a football game going on at the same time, you pay one entry fee and you go to both. So there's one concession stand that services
one right at the gate.
all of that. So a lot of the clubs, a lot of the other teams, everybody gets a stake in the concession stand or a time in the concession stand, which God bless Micah Mountain, because I don't know how I could have staffed all of that at the beginning when we started. So we do we get two games. We usually do homecoming and our kickoff home opener. Those are our 2 games that we usually have to staff. So but this was we feed the boys after this showcase, and we just give them hot dogs. And so I went and made the hot dogs. We make sure that they have snacks when they go up to the 7. I make sure that they have snacks when they go up to the 7-on-7s. Just those little things that.
So you're bringing up a good point. So let me ask this: how do you get more parents involved? Or what's a good way for schools that struggle to get and because hindsight, you also work over at Saguaro.
I do.
So how do you get and you're going from total different sides of the pole.
I have to change my clothes in the car.
Yes.
Because I leave Saguaro in my red and blue, and I drive to Micah to volunteer, and I'm taking off my red and blue and putting on my Carolina blue and silver and black, because I cannot walk into Micah with red and blue on, and I cannot walk into Saguaro with anything Micah on.
She's like, I need a house somewhere.
I do. I was like, I switch in the car, right?
I become really, fans of the restaurant over here.
We're best friends. I get to use their bathroom.
That Burger King right there or the Quick Trip right there on Houghton.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, but I think relationship building is so important. It's important in education. I learned it in education. But I think it's also important when soliciting volunteers. Sending out a blanket email doesn't get you far.
No.
Forming relationships with parents, taking that extra time, and that's what I try and do.
Right.
I'll walk into the stands and I'll just say hello to everyone.
Right. Yes, she will. So I'll have players come up to me and say, "I met your mom." I was like, "That's great. She's all over the place. You'll probably meet her again," and they're okay with it. So.
And I think that's the most important. And then asking them, once you've built that relationship, asking them what they're willing to provide. What are you willing to help with? What can you help with? Because not everybody can help the same way, right? Can you give time? Can you give supplies? Can you give money? What are you comfortable in providing? I think that's important. If you can build relationships with parents, I tend to provide them information that they may not have, like, what do I do with this picture form? Oh, okay, that's fine. I can get it to the coach that needs to, or whatever. Right. I think that's important. So for struggling schools, go into the stands. Sit with somebody new. Introduce yourself as, "Hi, I'm Colleen. I'm Jack Bradley's mom. He's on varsity."
And not necessarily leaving it on the coaches. No. You're saying as part of the booster club or whatever.
As part of a mom, yeah.
Right. And that's
what I do is I try and sit, maybe go to a practice, say hi. I was sitting at the youth camp that Micah had their first youth camp.
Perfect time to meet.
So I started introducing myself to future Micah parents. We're so happy to have you. I'm Colleen. My son's on varsity. If you have any questions, please let me know. We're always looking for help. Let us know.
I got the question.
So that's kind of what I do.
I got a question.
Oh, this is going to be dangerous.
So when Jack graduates, are you staying with Micah Mountain?
I don't know yet. I don't know.
Everybody's heart just dropped.
I don't know yet. No, I mean, I am very dedicated to Pat Nugent. I have, he is, he and his wife have given.
Love him. My kid was with him for 4 years.
He and his wife have given everything to Micah Mountain. They are amazing people. That whole staff over there
Do you party with them in San Diego when they go on that
They're
trip?
going.
We
They're
are going.
You go
This-
sit at the Dana Hotel.
Yep.
That's
Sit there,
all.
everything.
Yeah.
Like go hang out with them.
Yeah, it's all ready.
It's fun. I love that trip.
Yeah.
Loved it.
So
I even
this
went.
is-
I even took my kid there on COVID when we didn't go. So we went out there, kind of like, and stayed at the Dana and everything. I was like, yo, this would have been his senior year. This is where he would have went. And I took like four. Like there was 4 of them. Like 3 of his friends I took with me, and I was like, have it. Like
Just
Yeah.
have fun.
And it's those things that are experiences that those boys will remember forever.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
Yes.
The boys that Jack plays with are his family. I mean, Micah Mountain Team is his family, and those boys are everything to us, and they're everything to Jack. And so, and he's very fortunate to be a part of 2 very strong teams. I mean, he does
Yes.
play lacrosse as well.
I do.
And so we're very involved in that as well. But his football boys are his family, and I mean, you know what it's like in Vail. Friday Night Lights is
It's
everything. I mean,
Everything.
like, and to now have 2 powerhouse, you know, well, 3. I mean, Empire's very good too. So you got those 3 powerhouse teams out there, and that community lives and breathes football.
Sports in
Sports
general.
in general.
Yeah.
Football when it's football season, basketball, you know, and Micah is starting all
They-
these new traditions.
And they also strive academically for the
Yes.
most part as
Yes.
well, which comes from the community. You have to kind of implant that there. And it's difficult when you get into other communities, which, you know, say for instance, there's a lot more single homes. Maybe financially or economically they struggle more, where they got to work and they can't provide that time that's needed, you know, to their kids. And it's like you got to kind of sit there and go, hey, look, you know, as a community, how do we back each other and help each other?
Right, and that's where I think that we as moms have to come together. And
Right.
and while I'm a Micah Mountain mom, I still support Saguaro because that's
Right.
where I work, and you know I see those boys every day. This will be the first year we play each other.
Right.
That will be a little challenging in my little heart, but I of course will.
Are you going to go half like
No.
No,
I
she has to
football
wear
time?
Micah
It's all
stuff.
my son.
Yes.
It is
Where's the
football
game
time.
being played at?
It is at Micah.
Yes.
Which saves me a little bit. If it was at Saguaro, I would feel kind of like I have to work, so I would have to have something.
You can wear your
on.
red shoes.
My red shoes. Okay, thanks, Joe.
He said, wear red
But
shoes.
you know, the boys at Saguaro work hard. I see them dedicating their time and stuff like that
I love
as
so
well.
many of those kids over there.
Yeah, they're
good
you know,
kids.
Coach Al over there is building a strong program.
Kingston's
and
awesome.
Kingston, Vinny, quarterback Vinny.
Right. I just
you
saw
know,
a couple of those kids all up at the Lake
Lake Forest. Oh
Yes.
yeah. Oh no, they found me. They
And
found
like
me.
I'm like, man, I keep telling them like, tag me in your post. And I think I've told you too.
Yeah.
Right? I know Rodney probably has. But like when I tell people all the time, it's like you don't tag me in the post, I don't see it.
Yeah.
So you need to tag me in the post, and what I'll do is I'll retweet it, and I guarantee you I've retweeted everything you've ever
Yes.
tagged me in.
Yeah.
And just because I want to push it out to all the
well,
people
and
I
let's
follow.
talk about that.
Okay, let's talk
Social
about it.
media. What the heck? Like,
It's a job and a half. Let's go.
oh my goodness.
I mean-
it is. It really is. And if you are not a parent, and again, you could call me helicopter, but he shares with me his Twitter information, login
Right.
information. And that is not for me to be like, you know, I think parents should have their kids at least watching their kids' social media
Right,
and
right.
that kind of stuff.
Especially if
But-
it's business
Right,
oriented.
but this business thing for football is just so we catch everything, right?
Have you realized how important Twitter is?
It is
Yes.
so important.
Like I keep stressing it, and I even get backlash. Like, no, it's not important. You don't need Twitter. I mean,
And when we just started really your Twitter account, like really working on it when we got with Rodney.
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. I was listening to you, but I didn't understand Twitter. I mean, I'm a Facebook girl. I'm like an old mom. I'm
Right,
a
right.
Facebook girl. Like that's what I do. Maybe I dabble in Instagram, you know, over here.
try working 4 different platforms.
Yeah.
I do it all day long.
It's like it's a full-time job, and Jack will be like, "Oh, did you see that this coach, you know, did this?" Or, "Oh, did you see the message I got from this coach?" And I'm like,
It's a lot.
Hard.
It is a lot, and that tagging people is so important.
Yes.
It's huge. And like people don't understand, they'll post up something on Twitter and they won't push the tag, like they won't tag coaches or they won't tag media guys like myself or whatnot. And it's like, okay, cool. It's like it's like dropping something off a cliff. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool, whatever.
It's over.
Because now you're expecting them to go to you, which they're not. No. You know, as individuals coming up, and that's the great thing about, like, for instance, on my page and stuff like that, I have such a large collection of different athletes that I have coaches that come. So now you're getting the foot traffic because I'm pushing out this kid from Mountain View, I'm pushing this kid from Marana, this kid from Sabino or South Point or wherever the case is. So these coaches will kind of come just like you did on Facebook to find information from me about what's going on in our community. The Twitter, and if you guys realize this, I don't follow parents. I rarely follow parents on Twitter. I only follow athletes and coaches. And so when I get like kids like you that'll tag me, it's like I'm pushing it out to coaches that are literally all over, you know, pretty much everywhere.
Right. And us in Tucson,
We're a bad market anyways.
We have to do that.
Right. You got to work twice as hard than a kid that's sitting in Phoenix who's got the market that's already there.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part and what people aren't understanding. And that's why, like, you'll run into, like, when Rodney's helping you guys, he's doing different things that we're in a bad market.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to have someone like him. Now, other coaches will be like, hey, look, you don't need this kind of, like, help. We'll do it for you or whatever the case is. And if that's the path that somebody wants to go, then 100% towards them or whatever the case is. But I think it kind of helps. It helped me being able to, because I was really hands-on. Now, that's what kind of helped start this whole thing, is I was hands-on about it. And I sat there and I told Rodney, I was like, I'm not doing this. This is too much. Because it was just me trying to shop my son, where Rodney's got an entourage of kids that he's shopping. So you'll have more people. So it's almost like this. If I have 12 kids, right? And I'm a coach and I know you have 12 kids, I can come up and ask you, do you have a running back? Yes, I do. Hold on, here you go. You know, it's because you have options. You have a deck of cards, right? If I have one card and I'm trying to shop, it's completely different because I have to find that exact niche that's going to fit, which is difficult. Whereas like a coaching staff, that's different because they have all the players or whatever the case is. But like, you know, it's building relationships with the colleges.
And here's the thing. What I said to Jack, and I've said this, you know, Jack's coaching staff at Micah is exceptional. Like, I can't ask enough. And they are, you know, colleges are coming to the school, they're meeting with them, Jack is getting to meet with them. But I don't want to go May next year and say I didn't do everything I could for him to get to where he wanted to be.
You know, I look
right?
at right.
And so I want tools in my tool belt.
You know,
right?
it's what's funny is that, like, I was talking to Rodney once. I said, you know what you are? It's like you can go to a gym, right? You can be a gym member. That's fine.
Yeah.
But you can get a trainer too, right? So what's wrong with, like, you can have your school coaches helping you, but if you feel you need that extra help, whether it's a tutor, whether it's a physical trainer, whatever it is, you know, why not a recruiter? If that's what it's what you see the value of your money and what you need to do and so on. That's all it is.
And the more information we get out to people,
Right.
the more opportunities we get out to others, the better it's going to be. Like example, I'm willing to help you navigate the academics. You know,
I love
like
it.
you can put my name out, and anybody who wants to email me, go ahead, email me.
You heard it, right?
I can
Everybody heard
answer
it.
questions like that. Jack will love that I'm now.
Yeah, you just put yourself out there.
Putting myself out
Your
to
husband's all
everybody.
like sitting there going like,
Listen, my husband's so used to me. He's not. He's like, "You're going where today?" I'm like, "Don't worry, it'll be great." But no, I think that's what I love about your show. That's what I love about Rodney. That's what I love about Coach Nugent. That's what I love about going to those 7-on-7 tournaments that we go to in the summertime. We are such a small community. I mean, yes, Tucson's decent size, but we're a small community here. when we go, I see people on other
All over the
teams,
place.
and reach out, say hello, reach out, dab them up. Yes, we are all competing against each other, but we're all also
Tucson up there representing.
Right.
Like, and
Yeah.
it's funny too
Yeah.
because like you do get a little tension. Like, when you played other teams, you're like,
Oh yeah.
which team? Which 7 were you on?
For what?
Which 7-on-7 were you on?
Oh, I was on GG.
So you played
for a
GGE,
while. Yeah.
right? So when you go across and you see like maybe culture
Oh yeah.
or I don't know if for a while
Tucson Turf.
Tucson
That was a big
Turf,
one.
Flight 520 when they were doing
Yeah.
their stuff, you had that little, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it was all like when it come down to it, it's like how many Tucson teams did it?
right.
Tucson teams won.
Exactly,
Like,
and
go
that's
Tucson.
yeah, and that's kind of what you need. I mean, we do compete against each other. We do, there are people who are trying to champion Southern Arizona sports, Southern Arizona football. There are people in this town trying to champion it. We shouldn't be going at each other. We should be trying to collaborate and say, well, you have this option of 7-on-7, this option of 7-on-7, this. See what
have
works.
opportunities.
Yeah, see what works with your family. And then when we all go and compete, we should be cheering each other on. What I love about Jack is a huge cheerleader for all of his teammates, a huge cheerleader for even guys on the other team that he knows.
No, right.
Like, I mean, we play cat foot.
Yes.
He plays lacrosse with all of the cat foot guys because he's
Yes.
on the club. When we played them, he was helping his friends up off the ground when they
It's
got
okay to
tagged.
slap
Yeah.
them down, but you gotta pick them back up.
Yeah.
He was helping them out. So as much as we compete, and I'm all for the competition here in Tucson, I think we also need to rally each other up.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
And retweet when you get an offer, your friend gets an offer, and redo this. And
That's what helps draw us because the bigger the bigger the bulletin board of success or our community, the more people are going to see it. It's just the way it is. And Toby Bourget actually sat there and said something to me one time, and I always like giving him props. That's why I said his name first. Toby came up to me and I said, "So Toby, what's going on?" He goes, "I wish instead of Tucson, like success is like going up a ladder. Rather than Tucson, what Tucson does is rather than push people up the ladder, they pull them down. And we're not helping each other get up the ladder. When one gets up there, we can start pulling each other up rather than pulling people down." And that was the big thing. Like, and I was like, that's this mad props for him for saying it because like in his way of saying it, I understood exactly what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Like, we're so quick to hate rather than just congratulate and be like, cool, great job. I hope you guys do better next time or whatever the case might be. Because let's be honest, we're all out here trying to just draw attention to our community right now. Because once we get there, and maybe then it becomes a little like, yeah, you the running back, I'm a running back, let's do this stuff or whatever the case is. You can have that inner rivalry, but let's draw attention to Tucson. Like just Southern Arizona. That's why I don't call it Tucson, football. I did at first. I changed that. I went Southern Arizona because I was talking to a lot of coaches from Marin, like Wilcox.
yeah,
You got Douglas. I talked to the Tombstone coach. I mean, like, and all these little places
Sierra
that I didn't know. Like, yeah, Joe's a friend of mine, and so like all these and like they want to be a part of a movement too.
Yes.
So the more we embrace those smaller communities, the more they help push us up the ladder. If we don't pay attention to them, they're just going to sit there and go pull us down because they don't care. So
Right.
so the more we get, the stronger
Absolutely.
we become.
Yeah.
Like Nogales, Rio Rico, all these, like, there's so much.
So Jack played for Southeast Trojans in Vail. It was the split off of the
And you guys played a
Vikings.
lot of those things.
And
Yeah.
we played all of those teams. We played Sierra Vista teams, Wilcox, Douglas, Nogales, and then Benson.
Was Chris Roger one of your guys?
Yes,
Yes.
we love Chris.
It's funny. I knew his wife like forever and a day because I think we went
and
to
Jack
school
still
together.
goes and helps because Chris is still coaching his younger son's
Right.
team,
Colton.
and so Jack will go and help during camps and stuff like that. Give back to the youth team, and those teams are so they've got talent down there. They've got good, strong teams. I mean, Benson's
But
team.
we're talking about our market being hard.
I don't know how they do it.
You know, and that's why you need to kind of embrace them as
Right.
part of our family, because you do have that like man, that's so hard. Like if we got it bad, right?
Yeah.
Sierra Buena kids got even
Yeah.
worse, and then you talk about like a Douglas or a little Bisbee or something like that. They're even, and that's because they don't understand the media market because nobody's talking about it. They don't understand Twitter because nobody's talking about it. We got to talk about it, and you guys are learning so much right now going through your process that you become a huge amount of wealth when it comes to knowledge on what like Rodney's taught. So you can always teach down, go, hey, look, man, yeah, I know you ain't got on Twitter. Like, and you should be telling your teammates.
Oh, yeah.
Like, man, do you have your Twitter set up? Follow me. I'll tell you what you need to be doing. You can help. And because like there's so many times I'll get on Twitter trying to find some of the kids that are graduating. I can't find them. I can't help them. I can't.
Well,
send
even
them.
just Rodney just taught me. He was so funny. He said you need to change Jack's Twitter handle, and it has to say Jack Bradley 2024.
Do you
and
know
I was
why?
like, and so
So
people
coaches
can,
know. I graduate in 2024.
You get so much information in just the handle, and it's easier for you when you're out on like a football field. Like you go to a camp, okay? You're at Lake Forest, okay? We were just there.
Yeah.
So you go up and the coach goes, "What's your handle?" There's so many kids that'll say like if you never changed it, it'll typically be like your first name and a whole like triage of numbers, like 6.
Yeah.
It's like, do you know that? No.
No.
So next thing you're sitting there, you're trying to find your stuff. You're telling them. The coach sits there and automatically knows that you don't know what you're doing because you got that trail of numbers. So if you can just sit there and go, Jack Bradley, 2024.
but I didn't know how to change it.
But see, this
Right?
is like,
And so
I've done this on social media.
I know you have, and I did do a good job of following you on that one. So, like, I had screenshots sent from Rodney going, click here, click here, click here. Like,
So funny.
as a mom, I'm like, I don't know how to change that. And I'm like, I don't know where to put it. And how do you, because I was trying to figure it out. And I'm slightly tech savvy, not 100%, but slightly. And so just that little information is like, you need to know that. You need to know that if you want him out there, it should be very close to his name and his year.
I don't think a lot of people like you see a lot of the stuff that I know on social media. I don't think people understand how many times like I talk to kids,
important.
my like my messages and stuff like that. 'Cause this air conditioner is just pumping
It's lovely.
right now. It's like
It's lovely.
pumping. But like I'll say like I've talked to like I'm calling random people. Like I have kids that are, hey, can you help me out with my Twitter, setting it all up, so on and so on. I have no problem with that. And like so I'll get on the phone. I'm talking to random dads and like. I'm talking to like from all over. Like I talked to from Pima, the town of Pima, like anywhere. I don't care. It's like, hey, look, let's get you right. Like let's do that. I'll help you out with that. You know, I helped a kid out from Yuma. It's like I'll never see that kid. That kid doesn't even help us. Like it's not a part of my market or anything like that. But like to take that moment out and like just give that extra time, that's what I'm doing all this for. Like, what people don't know, I haven't worked in 4 years because of my health issue. And so I just dedicate this time to, like, help kids. And, dude, honestly, I love it. I love the fact that you're out here doing your thing, that you found Rodney, that like, things are swinging your direction. I mean, an inspirational mom here that's, like, comes through and, like these are the reasons why I want to talk to moms, because you're already out here sharing like your message to some of these other mothers that are probably, I guarantee you, some lights went on like I didn't know that, you know. And if it's just one person, that was worth the show for me.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. And like I know we so much, and I keep wanting to like pull in Jack too,
pulling
because
Jack.
because like
poor baby.
because I know. Let me ask you this, because your sister went to Cienega.
Yes.
Was it hard for you to go to Micah Mann?
It wasn't. I mean, I did grow up in the same school as her. We both went to Cienega Valley. We both went to Rincon. And we both were in the same school together. But going to Micah wasn't really that hard because I just found the opportunity to do stuff on my own. Because I was always kind of in my sister's shadow. Like everybody knew me because they knew her. So going to new school is always fresh start. I don't have to worry about people not knowing me and people who know me from my sister. But it's also a fun thing, and to know that I could be the first full graduate class makes me happy.
So, being that you've been at Micah Mountain, how would you sell that to a kid that's currently in junior high school? Like, this is a school. Like what things or do you think were like, hey, look, this is why I'd sell Micah Mountain?
Well, our academics are great. All of our teachers are fun, nice. They all help you out if you need help. They're all nice. So I would say, like, if you want to go to a school that has good football and it's still a new program and we're still building, we're still getting new stuff, and the whole campus isn't even built yet, then come to Micah because we have great education, great football, and great weightlifting program. Keith Scott, great guy.
Good guy.
All of our teachers, all of our programs, all of our anything you really need, it's a great program for kids to come and do school.
I got you. Now, when you go off to college, right? When you come back to visit mom in the summer, would you donate time to your school?
Oh, yeah. Because I know Micah Mountain is not fully built. And I would love to come back and see everything fully built. New classrooms, we're getting a new weight room. Our weight room's getting redone. And I know the campus is going to look different and the whole culture is going to be different.
And you're wanting to coach too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's part of what you're wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
So to come back and kind of maybe like a little intern stuff during the
Oh,
summer.
yeah. I would love to come back and help.
I'm really pushing this program.
Tell them what you just finished doing.
Oh, my shadowing SEP hours. I've them all done, all 20 within 3 days.
And what did you do?
Oh, I went down to Rincon Vista, where I went to middle school, and they had summer school. So I went down there and I helped teach, help kids learn, because they obviously are in summer school, so they need help. So I helped kids learn math and learn what they need to not come to summer school next year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of get ahead.
Yes.
Okay. And I had another one sitting on my head. I can't. Oh, man.
No, but I think it's really good that you're pushing that program because
I want it.
To have
alums
come who was just on your show last time.
Right, the Pfeiffer.
Come back to Saguaro and say, listen, this is me.
Mm-hmm.
I was in your shoes. I am now at college.
I didn't have to go to a D1.
I didn't go to D1.
Sorry.
But I am still getting a great education, and I play football all fall. You know what I mean? And having that, because having kids hear that in Tucson.
Right. We need
It's
that.
a good thing.
I mean,
so they can identify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me throw this one in because I just thought about it. Because you were the first class going through Micah Mountain.
Yeah.
One of the things, and I know this because I talked to Pat, leadership was one of the things that was really hard and absent in yours.
It's still
unlike going like my kid, for example, who went to Cienega, who had a strong leadership.
Yeah,
you know, they
already
taught
built.
down. They always had that leader to kind of follow up. With that missing, did that put any kind of difference, or did it make you want to step up? Are you one of the captains?
I
leader,
mean,
or
I
what's
wouldn't.
going on
I
over
wouldn't count myself as a leader, but we definitely do have
It's okay.
a bunch of leaders that are growing still. Like our quarterback Jaden Thorson, easily one of a great leader. He's working us in the weight room. He also knows how to have fun sometimes too, but. Like Jonah Garcia, great guy, great leader. George, great guy, great leader. It's all upperclassmen that know that.
I'm going to stop you on something. You said something, and Mom laughed even a little bit about it, right? Do you help the kids that are on a lower level or grade than you?
Oh, yeah.
Then why do you not recognize yourself as a leader?
Oh, because I wouldn't say I'm
Why?
a leader on the
My
football
question is,
field.
why not?
Because I don't really like put myself out there and like.
You need to start believing that you're a leader. I want you to start doing that, because if you're helping and you're kind of pushing something, you are a leader. And you as a senior in your class, you should be a leader to all those beneath you regardless, because you're an example. No matter whether you feel you're a leader or not, those kids that are beneath you are looking at you as an example for what the direction they should be trying to go. And you being a kid with a 3.7, 3.8, whatever GPA.
3.9.
3.9, sorry, Mom. 3.9 GPA, striving, and more than likely going off to play college football. I hate to tell you something, buddy, but you're a damn good leader. You got to look at it like that way, all right?
Yes, sir.
Just a heads up for you. So going forward, you just got to sit there and, heck yeah, I'll help lead these kids. Just look at that way. That's my food for thought for you.
The last thing I want to say
Yep, go ahead.
is that the two advices that I can give besides the academic stuff is the financial stuff. 529s are something that
I have no
parents,
clue what you're talking about right now. Go on.
So 529s are college funds that you can put money in, and kids can pull them out tax free. And so we set ours up for our kids later than we should. But even if you're just putting in $25 a month or something like that, that is something that your kids can use solely for college. So both of our kids have them. It's just automatically withdrawn. They grow very well. And so it's something that you should look into.
529.
529. They're educational funds. They're tax deductible. All those great tax things. So that's something you should look into. But the other thing is,
when would you suggest starting that?
if you could start it as a baby, it would be the best thing.
It's got one.
Yeah, exactly. And I know some parents who did, and I'm like, God bless you. You are smart people. I wish I was you.
Right.
So that's kind of my plug on that. And then the other thing is, and this is something I wish we had known, is if you can start saving for in between their junior and senior year summer to go to camps.
Oh, yeah.
If you can start saving some money for that, because like you and I talked about, Western New Mexico is the only camp that's coming
Only
here.
one coming. Everybody go.
Tucson, right? So then you've got camps in Phoenix, which are doable in a day, but gas prices right now are crazy, but you're still driving up to Phoenix and back. But there still isn't a lot in Phoenix either.
Right.
And so there's all these colleges that are reaching out to you and say, come to our camp, come to our camp, come to our camp, come to our camp. And you have to have money for those. You have to have money to fly there or drive there or get there or whatever. I mean, we're going to go to Denver to go to Fort Lewis's camp.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so we're going to do that in July. A lot of the camps also, we have to make an academic decision here because a lot of those camps
You didn't go with us on that trip, huh?
No, I didn't.
No. A lot of our camps are that 21st, 22nd.
Right.
Well, that's the first day of school for Vail High School. So you have to make that academic decision too. So there's a lot of things that go into play here with this whole camp thing, which I knew nothing about again. So I'm just trying to tell parents, try and save some money.
For the right camps.
For the right camps, for the ones that you have been in contact with those coaches, you've been talking with them, they want you to come, they want to see you working, all those kind of things. Don't just spend your money to go to a camp because you want to go there. Make contact with the coaches first. Make sure that they know you're coming, all of that. But save some money for it. Had I known, we probably would have saved this whole year to have some money stashed away.
Go on trips, all kinds of stuff.
To be able to do some of those things. Do more than we are doing currently right now. And try and have your summer, like I'm going away for 2 months or 2 weeks next week for Europe, which I might not have done had I known all this stuff was going on. Kind of have your summer in between your junior and senior year kind of open and vacant to be able to do this stuff.
I love you.
Because I didn't and I don't, and we're struggling to get into some of these camps. And I have to let go as an educator and maybe say it's okay for him to miss the first day of school if it means he's going to a camp. If it means he's going to a camp that is really going to be worth his while. So But
No, I mean, is there anything you wanted to say? Add?
Not much. No.
reached out to your boys.
Yeah.
You throw props out to the boys.
Shout out all the Mike Mountain players.
All the Mike Mountain players.
Yes. And it was true. Coach Nugent.
So you're from Tucson too, though.
No, I'm
No,
not.
you're not.
No. I'm
Born in Philly.
I'm all over. So, yeah. No. We've been here since 2006.
Right.
I went to school back east in Philadelphia. That's where Jack was born. That's where Amelia was born. And then we moved here because my parents are here. So,
Got it.
yeah. But
Good
we
on.
love it here. We're trying to
Great.
support.
Right. Well, hey, I think I loved it.
I thank you for having us. We can't.
Yes.
And when I saw you and you had this, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever! Somebody's actually going to ask our opinion." Because
I want
as
it.
moms, we don't usually get asked our opinion when it comes to football, and we have a lot to say sometimes, as you can see.
You hear some stuff in the bleachers, don't you, Mom?
Yes.
You can hear me, can't you?
Yes. I can hear you from
Mom
the
hears
field.
stuff in the bleachers too.
Yeah.
Like I think it must be hard for like a quarterback mom more than anything.
Oh,
Quarterback
that's
moms, it's got
tough.
to be tough.
They gotta. God bless the quarterback mom.
Poor Jaden.
I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Mrs.
Thanks for-
Nicole.
Well, and it's funny because you say that, but I sit at the scorer's table for lacrosse.
Yes.
You want to hear some rough things? It's sitting at the scorer's table of lacrosse and hearing the opponent's coach because their benches they're
Yeah, we're right next
they're
to
right
each other.
next to each other, and what's in
Kind of
between
like basketball. Kind of.
yeah,
Yeah.
and what's in between them is the scorer's table.
Right.
And you're hearing the other side's coach tell his team that your son sucks and to go, don't worry, you can get by him at all. At one point in time, I looked at him and I said, that kid has a mom and that mom is sitting right here. So you may want to watch your tone. Like it's tough sitting there. So when you're sitting in the stands and you're wide
She's
receiver,
freaking questions, and I'm just like, all right, let's go ahead and we can leave the.
Yeah, your
no,
wide
no,
receiver-
No, freaking keep bringing me back.
your wide receiver runs out for a pass and he misses it, and the whole stands goes, "What the heck? That kid
Right.
sucks!" And you're like,
Trash can't catch.
"Jack doesn't have."
So let me
any
ask you this
hands."
question: what if you were offered an opportunity to play lacrosse? Would
Oh.
you go lacrosse or would you go football?
It really depends
Because you're a
because
dual sport kid.
yeah, we've been talking, or we've tried to been talking to the NAU lacrosse coach because my sister's up there, so great opportunity, and I would love to play lacrosse in college, but if football,
Is it not that popular lacrosse
No.
in college? Okay.
Well,
in college it is.
Back east and
Yeah.
and I mean they have the same divisions.
Yeah.
Like, NAIA through D1, all the same.
So you saying you might play lacrosse, huh?
If the opportunity
Mom's all sitting
comes,
here like he's probably not going to be playing football.
if the opportunity comes in lacrosse before, or if it comes in lacrosse, I'd probably play lacrosse. But if the opportunity does come in football, I'd probably pick football over lacrosse.
So do you do track?
No, I can't do track because
same time?
it is the same time as lacrosse.
Gotcha.
Yes, I've Dee Dee, our track coach. She's asked me. She's like, "Are you gonna come do track your senior year?" I was like, "I can't. It's my senior year of lacrosse." So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, he wants to do everything. They're starting a boys volleyball team. He wanted to do
My
that.
son did. He
It
wanted
was,
to do
yeah,
that.
I think I would have done pretty good.
He wanted to do that. He went off and studied track. And funny thing, Caleb never did like hurdles or nothing. He actually made it to state.
I know he's very good at track.
Yeah.
Very good
That's
kid.
how we met.
Got an offer.
Caleb track.
Offer to play or actually to do track at Pima. That didn't go through because
You know, Ethan Black also got one.
huh?
Ethan Black, he was at Micah. He did track and he's at Pima right now running
Good.
track too.
Well, I mean, we're gonna wrap it. I got to run and
Yeah.
turn it off.
Yeah.
But thank
But-
you.
Oh no, I absolutely loved it. And so we'll see you guys. We're gonna do another one. Hopefully, I can get another interesting mom such as yourself in here.
Well, all the moms we've had so far have been lovely. and
I think they're great.
pale in comparison to them. So,
Oh, stop it!
so
Stop it!
but feel free to put my email out there to anybody who needs
Yep.
it.
So anybody who wants to know, we'll be able to contact and get all into that.
Yeah,
So yeah, you good?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. See you
Thank
later.
you. Bye.
Gotta go clean it up.